Imagine a world with no cold calling. A world where companies don't sell your data to other companies who want to pester you. At G4 Claims, we don't cold call and we don't buy a single lead from data companies. Oh, and if you're due any compensation from your car accident, you pay nothing to us at all. For full accident management support, including motor replacement, repairs and personal injury compensation claims, just search G4 Claims today. For help the way you want it.
Hi and welcome to this week's episode of the DW podcast. If you watched last week, you will see my guest was Luke from West Lothian, a Scottish singer-songwriter. And I am joined by another Scottish singer-songwriter from West Lothian. It seems like they're never ending. This week we've got Mark Sharp. Thanks very much for coming on.
How's it going, man?
Good, how are you?
No problem at all, man. Thank you for having me. Aye, I'm well, man. Just as well as you can be this time, but I'm not too bad. How about yourself?
I'm alright, I'm alright. Was that a wee Only Fools and Horses mug you've got there?
It sure is, mate. It sure is.
Del Boy and Rodney.
Only the best, mate.
As I say, last week I had Luke on, so probably a good way to start is if you've not listened to it, folks, go back and check out last week's. But West Lothian, what is going on there? It's the music capital of Europe at the moment.
Aye, it's a good scene, man. There has always been a pretty decent scene, but I think we say Snuts and Lewis going so high now that it's drawn a bit of attention to the rest there. So long may it continue, man.
I think I mentioned it as well to Luke, but the thing that for the outside looking in, Mark, it just seems like you're all so supportive of each other, and I sometimes feel that, when, be it in music or any kind of art form, when people start doing well, you often hear these stories of people bickering and fighting and trying to put others down, but you all seem to be so supportive, and it's great to see.
Mm-hmm. That's it, man. I think you've got to be like that. There's no point in starting fights with bands. It's not the 90s anymore. Oasis and Blurs and that. It's I think you've got to be like that. It makes you better as well. It's like a healthy competition as well. You want to be supporting these, like, your mates and playing gigs with your mates, and when they're doing well, you want to be up there as well. So I think it's brilliant that everybody around here is like that, because we've all played, like, there's no much like we say there's loads of bands, but like music venues, there's no many around here. But we're all out together all the time, and we're all good pals. So I hope that continues.
What was your early days of music then? What was your first gigs and the first time you picked up a guitar? Because obviously at the moment you've obviously got the Bicycle Thieves as your band there, but you started off solo. So talk us through the journey a wee bit.
Aye, well, it's actually I've been in a couple of bands before. I wanted to kind of do my own thing, but like at the beginning, I never ever thought I'd be in like a band or anything like that. I never ever thought I'd do music or that for a living. I was just a wee guy wanted to play football all the time. It just that was it. That's all I knew, just to play football, and I loved going to gigs. So I was at gigs all the time. My brother used to be in a band, and I'd go see Dead Sea Souls and Apple Scruffs and stuff, because it was, as I said, it was a good scene through here back then as well. But I just never ever thought of doing that. And then I think just feel like being at house parties and stuff like that, you end up, singing Arctic Monkeys, Libertines tunes and that with folk, and just taking a sing song, and end up joining a band, say a mad band, a mad night out. And so I like you mentioned, like, first gigs and that. So the first gig was with a band called the Divines,
right?
And I was only like 16, 17. Just started school and that, and we played a gig in Brookspurn at some pub, and I ended up getting the gig through like Bebo.
No way, remember Bebo?
Aye, mate. Aye. Mate. Those were the days, man. Send us some love. There was like a random guy just messaged us what I put on a gig, and that sort of like, that'll be good. We didn't have a clue what was going on. He picked the venue, picked reports and that, just like that, just see what you can do. So I ended up selling a gig out because it was just your mates for school. I can't remember the name of the pub, but turned up at the venue, and that was the first time we met the boy, and he was like, bro, you know, that's sold out and that, there's some money in that. Give us a geezer rest after the money gets like focused a queue outside and that. Once everybody pays, I'll give you the rest of the money. So we weren't even bothered about the money. We just wanted to play a gig. So I think we went up the street or something to get a queue, and I was just outside talking to folk. Came back in, and again the guy was blitzed, getting carried out by like 3 guys. What the fuck's happened to this guy?
No way.
He's getting carried out and blitzed, and I swear to God, I've not seen him since. We never got the rest of the money either. That was a good gig.
So the gig still went ahead,
I swear, man.
Huh?
Aye, the gig still went ahead. That was a shambles, but it was class as well, man. As I say, it was just like your mates for school and that, so it was jumping, but it was funny. I was just thinking about that the other day too. I've not seen that boy since.
That's hilarious. It's funny how you talked about the football thing there, because I feel that, I mean, we're from similar backgrounds, I suppose, growing up in kind of Scottish towns or whatever, just outside the big cities, and I kind of felt when we were growing up, football was the main thing, and it isn't until you're older you start appreciating music a wee bit more. And I don't know if it was the same at the school that you went to, but I kind of felt at school like music wasn't really as cool as being in the football team.
100%. No, it was exactly the same, man. I mean, the football team was a shambles as well, to be fair, but you could take music at school, but I never seen any interest in picking up the guitar or anything like that. I did love music when I was at school, but I nobody else really. Back then, nobody cared, really.
I wonder now, because you know that there's people like yourself and like Luke and the Snuts and Lewis all coming through for West Lothian. I would imagine that the schools in West Lothian, when kids come to pick their options, they're all picking music now.
I guarantee it, mate. Especially, I mean, I went to St Kent's, but like Whitburn's where the Snuts boys went, and I guarantee in there, because they've got like a music room and stuff where the Snuts used to practice, so I guarantee that's bringing in a few bands, like a few young things.
100%. So when did you decide to go solo? Because I feel that, for me anyway, I've always played in bands, and the 40, well, I can't sing like yourself for a start, so it wouldn't work as well, but the 40 actually going solo seems like such a bigger step, because you're putting yourself out there, and there's no really anybody else to fall back on.
Aye, that's true. I mean, I don't know why I wanted to do that. I just thought I can do what I want that way. Do you know what I mean? You're kind of yourself being in bands. It's like not everybody's got to agree on everything. Do you know what I mean? So it can be difficult at times. But I thought I'd do solo, see how that goes. But I realised I wrote songs for a band. I always had I wasn't writing like acoustic folk songs or anything like that. I was always writing band songs, so I needed a band to play anyway. And I didn't think it was fair that, I mean, we'd done well to build up a crowd through my name, but I didn't think it was fair to just have my name. So it's like these boys they're doing their bit as well. So that's where the Bicycle Thieves came in.
It's interesting that as well, because I sometimes feel like that almost is quite humble and quite modest for you, that you want them to have that recognition, because there's other solo artists out there that would just be like, nah, they're just my backing band, and you know, it's Mark Sharp, and they're part of Mark Sharp. Whereas I think that's quite, you know, it says a lot about you that you wanted to give them that recognition.
I hate that, but I couldn't just be called a band just because I'd spent all the years trying to get a name. Do you know what I mean? And get a fan base through that. So it was the only way to do it, really. Just keep both.
So last year was a big one for you, and I feel that this is maybe unfair to say, because you can tell me if I'm wrong, but I feel that in comparison to some other artists, you get a bit more gigs than others. You know, you had a really, really good start to the year in terms of getting out there and playing, and then it all kind of slowed down.
Aye, that's what I've been saying, that because people have been saying that he's were on a big run and the momentum was going well, the hype was there, and then he must have got hit the hardest. But we did, like every band, got hit hard, but I count our blessings that we were lucky enough to get the gigs in just before it ended. I think we played the last gig in Britain or whatever. We were on the bill for the last gig in Britain, so a big gig in Lewis Capaldi, so I don't think you're getting bigger than that.
Was that the one at Aberdeen?
Was I?
Aye. I remember at the time, I don't think, and maybe I'm talking out of tongue here, but I don't feel that MD really appreciated you know, how big this coronavirus thing really was then. You know, it was like, when gigs were getting cancelled, people were thinking, oh, what are you on about at first? You know, and I actually felt quite sorry for Lewis after that, because I seen that he got a wee bit of flack in the papers. You know, the media kind of came to him a wee bit saying, you really shouldn't have played that gig. But in the same week, you had things like Cheltenham Festival going on. You know, and I'm sure the stereophonic...
it's not his fault as well, do you know what I mean? That's out of his hands, that kind of thing. It's quite funny because we did the tour down south, and then we played, I think it was Newcastle. So we had to go from Newcastle straight to Aberdeen. And like on the way there, the Old Firm got cancelled. So like, well, this isn't going to go ahead. And then we were getting messages for like Lewis Capaldi fans saying, "You better not play this gig. It's a disgrace if he's played this gig." So it's not our fault. Do you know what I mean? We didn't really know at the time, just like everybody else. But everything was going wrong. I think we broke down as well on the way there.
No way.
So like everything was going wrong. I was like starting to lose my voice and that, because just off the back of the tune, I was like, this isn't good. But we're going anyway. Either way, we're going to get a night out in Aberdeen. So I went ahead, and thankfully it did. And that was some night.
It must be amazing that, you know, obviously you've known Lewis for a number of years, but for him to continue to ask his friends and people that are close to him to support him, and, you know, in these arena gigs as well, but how thousands that would have been.
Aye, it's that P&J or whatever it's called. It's the biggest venue in Scotland.
Is it?
And I mean, I think so. Aye. Sure, it's bigger than Hydro, so it must be.
Aye.
And we never get to play a stage that size, so it's as you say, it's unbelievable that they still, you know, ask us to play these gigs. That's the way it's always been. Do you know what I mean? Even before anything taken off for him, we were always gigging and stuff together. And just it didn't matter who was like headlining or anything like that. We just wanted to play gigs together. And he still was down to earth as it comes, man.
And I think that you could talk about Lewis all day, but that's quite, you know, prevalent and visible for his social media presence as well. But I mean, getting back to you, is like playing a venue like that. You've just done, correct me if I'm wrong, a 3-day tour in England. So was it Manchester, Newcastle, and somewhere else?
London.
Oh, of course. London, but you brought out the Live at London album this last year. But to go to playing the gigs, to then playing a stage the size of, you know, biggest venue in Scotland, must be, what a week.
Mm-hmm. That was, as I say, like, we were so lucky to be able to play them right at the end before all this. So, I never thought when we booked the London, Manchester, Newcastle gigs, I never thought that like we'd have many people there, but we managed to sell out every single one of them. And obviously Lewis's was sold out, so we did a lot of people just in the space of a few days, man.
Is there a difference when you're going down south? Because I almost feel like in Scotland, bands kind of live in a wee bit of a bubble, you know. I feel as if there's always been, we want to make it in Scotland, we want to play King Tut's, and we want to play the Barras or whatever, and then, I'm not saying it's easy, it takes a lot of hard work, but it must be even harder to put yourself out there in a place like London or Newcastle, you know, where it's no your pals, it's no your family, it's a totally different audience, and like when you put that gig on sale, you must be thinking, oh God, this is a wee bit nervy.
Aye, definitely. We thought, see if we managed to sell like 40 tickets or something, that we'll be happy. But the people that follow us everywhere as well, so we've got to hand it to them, like travelling from up here down there, man. As loyal as they come. So there was a few of them, but a few randoms as well, and that's good to see.
What's your songwriting process, Mark? Because obviously you says you've got the band now. Do you go into the studio and say to them, I've got this tune here, here's the bass line, here's the drums, or do you say, right, here's the bare bones, can you help me with this?
Usually I'd say I just sit down with acoustic guitar and I'd have the lyrics. Once I finish the lyrics, I've got a chord progression and sort of an idea of where I wanted to go. Then I'll take it to the boys or what like that. But more recently, we've all been trying to chip in and, you know, do our bit. Everybody's been having a crack at writing some tunes, and then I've just had literally just putting lyrics to them, and then we're just putting our heads together and working on them. It's been difficult to try and do that because it's hard to through a computer to try and make that magic happen. But when we've had the chance, we've wrote a few tunes, man. It's difficult again. You know, you're not getting inspiration. You're staring out the window at a ghost town half the day, man. You're not really getting inspiration for anywhere, because I need to be out and about it to get inspiration. I need characters to write about. Do you know what I mean?
It probably harks back to, you know, your first gig came from meeting people at a house party, and then, you know, that first gig in Broxburn. Like, for me, I can imagine that's where you get your inspiration. It's these stories, it's the people you meet, and that shines through in your songs as well.
Cheers, man. Definitely. I'll need to write a song about that boy that booked their first gig through people, man.
That's amazing.
I genuinely, I was only thinking about it like just the other week. Like, I've not seen that guy in ages, man.
I hope
Can't
he's
remember his
alright.
name.
Hope he's still
I
alive.
doubt it, man. You want to see the Nicky or my spewed in his cell and that. But I don't think he had any intention of paying us anyway.
No, he probably drank all the money, and that's why he was being sick everywhere.
That's it. I guarantee it, mate. Guarantee it. I was thinking he was at it until I seen the spewed in him.
Maybe he's just getting you on, so he didn't need to pay you.
I think he was one of the characters, man. But I'll need to try and ask the boys and try and find out his name, hunt him down.
That's hilarious. Last year, I want to touch on it. I thought it was a really nice touch you done with the NHS single as well. What was your thought process there?
Well, we started doing the kind of the lockdown covers, just to try and cheer people up, really. And I think Dan's idea. Dan plays keys for us. He was thinking we should do like a piano cover. Sorry, just me and him, and we could maybe do it for charity or stuff like that. And our manager Ross Coates was the same. He was like, let's do it for the NHS and stuff. So it got well received. And it was Mad World we done, so it was relevant to what was going on at the time. So what we're going through now, and it went doing well.
I think that you've got a knack, and I'll just sing your praises a wee bit here, because your original tunes are absolutely brilliant, but I think you've got a knack of taking really popular covers and making them your own, and I've seen that at your live shows as well. You know, it seems like you really know how to put your own stamp on them.
Oh, thanks very much, man. Aye, you maybe refer to Born Slippy cover that we do.
Aye. Out in the crowd and going wild, and anytime I've seen you play that live, you know, the audience really, they eat out your hands.
Aye, it feels like it's your song now. Aye. Just because the way we should probably have covered that and like put that out there, but it's like it's just a wee treat for people at the gigs, and it's good to do if you're supporting somebody, because folk will not know your songs, but they'll know Born Slippy, and they'll be like, it doesn't really, it sounds like Born Slippy obviously, but as you say, we put a red stamp on it, and it kind of made it our own a bit.
Mark, I seen you, I can't remember who it was, I'm sure I seen you supporting someone in St Luke's and you played that. Was it Kyle Faulkner? No? No, it
would have been the Snuts.
The Snuts, that was it was the Snuts, aye.
It was some gig. That was some gig.
Was that maybe your last song, if I made that up?
Could have been. Aye. The set's changed that much. I can't even remember us playing that last, but
aye. But I just remember...
it might have been for a support, or it might have been for the last one for a support.
I remember the whole crowd in St Luke's were absolutely bouncing, and then that must have been the Snuts, that's right, and by the time they came on, you know, people were totally... It was electric, it was a great atmosphere.
Aye, that's we probably did play that last just for that reason, just to get everybody going. And they're well warmed up for the Snuts. Know that they need them to warm them up, but... that's it. I think that we work well when we support them. It's a good dynamic. I think we fit that slot well, I think.
You can talk about, you know, the West Lothian scene all day, and as we say, you know, that Lewis has been brilliant taking us on board and making sure that you keep supporting as well. And you know, the one gig that really stood out for me, unfortunately I couldn't make it, was the one in Princess Street Gardens, where it was yourself, it was the Snuts and Lewis, and I just thought that's such a great advert for, you know, that scene, you know, that scene. Mm-hmm. I remember these boys, like, when you were all young, you know, just coming through, and then to see how far you had came was incredible.
Mm-hmm. That was a special moment, because Luke played that one as well. Well, he played one of them, and Indigo Velvet played the other night.
That's right.
It's just because, like, we used to put like gigs on just locally, and it's like pubs around here, So it was like taking it for that wee pub onto that stage. It was special, and it was great to watch. Like Lewis do his thing there on the big stage as well. I've seen him hundreds of times. Been to Milan and everything to see him. I've seen him that much, but aye. But I don't know. It was just something special about that night. I think it was just, as you say, like all the West Lothian bands were on the bill, so it was very special.
What was it like over in Milan? I'd imagine when you all get together in terms of the West Lothian bands, it must be a good night out afterwards.
It was still a good night out in Milan. We were on his bus and that, his tour bus and that. But I was so surprised at that gig because, like the majority of the audience couldn't even speak like a word of English.
Right.
And I listened to this wee Scottish guy just rinsing them all. Because like in between these songs, I mean, they love the songs and they knew every word to every song. And they were all singing Luigi, 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 and that. So I was like fucking blown away by it. But he's taking the piss out of folk in the crowd and that, and they're just all buckle laughing at him as well. And that was cool to see, especially just seeing him hundreds of times in Scotland, but it was great to see him in Italy.
I said this to Luke last week, and I feel that you must look at Lewis and the Snuts and where they are just now and think we're next.
I hope so, man. I hope so. Just think it's unknown the new. That's really annoying because, as we were saying earlier, like the hype was there and then it's died down. But we've got new tunes coming and a lot more stuff to put out there. So just need to wait for wider time than now and see what happens. But you can't do much when you're not gigging. And we never released any new material last year. We did a lot of other stuff, but we never released any new songs. And I think turns out it was a good idea now. Because we would be waiting another year to play them live, do you know what I mean? So hopefully these new tunes will be getting played soon. You
put out the Live at London gig though, didn't you? The album though in Bandcamp, is that right?
Aye, mate, that was a fluke. Like, we came in, it was like, we must have been into like a month into lockdown or something like that, and the guy for the venue in London messaged us saying, by the way, I recorded your set, do you want it sent here? And I'm like, fucking right, man.
No way.
That's ideal. We're looking for stuff to put out. Nah. And I was like, send it over. Like, I wasn't expecting it to be any good, but it was really good, like quality recording. And I was like, that's ideal. That's the content sorted for this month. And I've not listened back to it for a while, but I can remember it being a good sounding recording.
Not that I'm saying that it wouldn't ever be good, but I feel that the fact that you didn't know that he was recording it probably made it a bit easier because
that's true.
Subconsciously, you'd be thinking, right, we need to nail this here if he's recording it.
That's true. So I think we had to take out one of the songs because it's a song we tried it out in that tour, but it's changed now. We've recorded it, right. So it'll probably be one of the next releases. But I had to take that out. But the rest were in. Never sounded good. So.
What's the next release then? What song is it?
Well, not too sure yet. If it's going to be that one, so I better know. Say, I think it will be, but we'll see. I just don't want to say it's got to be that one. It's got to be another one. Egg in my face, mate. But see.
I mean, you've got things to look forward to. I don't know if by April it'll be fine, but obviously you announced the Mash House gig in Edinburgh last year, which sold out pretty rapidly. Unfortunately, you had to postpone it, I believe, to September. Now you've put it back to April. So.
Aye. Oh, hope that goes ahead, man, because that just feels like it's dragging on. Because that was kind of going to fall into that. It was a week later after the tour, so it was kind of going to fall into that run. We would have got a few days break, so then we had to put it back and then put it back again. So I hope it goes well. Our folk will be wanting their money back because they'll be holding on to their cash for too long, I think.
It's good though, and it's good to see. I think that you've picked Edinburgh as well because bands often, just go to Glasgow. It's almost like second nature. Like, right, where we're playing in Glasgow, and to see you, announce a Dundee gig as well alongside that, and another Aberdeen one.
Yeah. It's got to be like, obviously we did that Aberdeen one with Lewis, so it would have been nice to have done it that year as well. The follow up to that and still be fresh in people's minds, but. I think it's the first time we play in Dundee. So that'll be fun.
Where is it, Fat Salmons?
I think so.
Aye.
I've honestly
put you on the spot there.
See, I actually sweat out my head now, man. If this gig even going to happen, but I'm sure it will. It definitely will. By the way, if anybody's bought tickets, it will happen. Just don't know where. But I'm looking forward to them because it'll be good to branch about Scotland a bit more. Usually we should have done that before we went down south, but we kind of went on the Spotify, like see who was listening to us on Spotify, and there was like a lot of numbers in London, Dublin as well. So we might, I don't know, maybe try Dublin.
Have you been over
at
there
some
before?
point as well?
For a gig? No.
Not to play. I've been over I've been there for St. Patrick's Day and all that. For a piss up. Been there for New Year once. Snuts Boys and all that were all there. So I love the place, but I've never played a gig there.
Do you know, I think it would be amazing to play over there as well because similar to Glasgow, I suppose, they just really love live music, don't they?
Mm-hmm. Definitely. And I'd like to play at Liverpool again as well. I feel like that's so similar to Glasgow. And we supported the Snuts in Liverpool, and it was just class. It felt like a real gig. Do you know what I mean? It was brilliant because a lot of folk for here went down for it as well. So, and I like Liverpool as well.
What I wanted to ask you about this. What's the story with the Livingston stuff? Because I've seen that. Obviously, that's your local football team, and they're starting to use all your music now for their social content as well.
Aye, mate, that's classy.
Aye.
I don't know how that came about, but I remember obviously being in like West Lothian band and stuff. But we've had like folk been in like Tony Macaroni's and all that. Moonshine just came on in that Tony Macaroni's.
No way.
And somebody sent me something there that. Aye. There's like Tony Macaroni's right next to the stadium.
Right.
Spaghetti had. Yeah. And somebody messaged me the other day, say like I think it was the Hibs playing against Hibs Livy. I think it was at Easter Road, and it would have been like the Hibs were broadcasting it, but like Moonshine was on that as well.
That's excellent.
So that was pretty cool. They've done it for like training videos and that. Old songs as well. It's quite cool.
Right, I think that's class as well. It totally ties into that community feel.
Aye, definitely. I think it was like the goals of the season or something. They put up some of the songs there, and I was like, a few of the boys in the band looked like Celtic fans, so there was that goal that Dyke scored, chipped the keeper on that, and that was like their tune was getting played. So it was like, well.
Don't remind us.
Aye.
You mentioned them very briefly there, but if we're talking about yourself and the Snuts and Lewis and West Lothian music, I think that your manager Ross Coots should probably get a notable mention as well. And for people that don't know Ross, it seems to me that, and this is my personal opinion, I'm sure others will share that, it's like he is the king of the West Lothian music scene. It's like for years and years he's
100%.
He's gave so many bands an opportunity, and I feel that often people don't know him, and he's such a quiet, humble, unassuming young guy that he doesn't even want any credit. Aye.
No, he doesn't. It's he's such a great guy. You might not have heard, like, folk might not have heard of him, but you've been to one of the gigs that he's put on, 100%. If you've been to any gigs around here for the last 10, 15 years maybe, he's I can remember like first gigs I used to go to, and that he'd be the guy on the door, like selling the tickets or whatever. So it's incredible, and he just loves music.
And I think it's amazing to think that there must be people like him all over the world, that folk don't really know about, but there's so many artists made it because the platform that they've initially gave them when they're so young. I mean, I can imagine there's Ross Cootses in California and Mexico and, do you know what I mean, Germany and Italy and wherever else, like, putting on these gigs. And then, I mean, for him to see what's happening with yourself and Luke and Lewis and the Snuts and everyone else, I mean, it must be, he should really take, a wee bit of personal responsibility, I think.
Nah, definitely. Yeah, he gave Lewis his first gig as well.
Right.
When he was like, I don't know, 13, 14 or something, Lewis was. And they gave me my first gig after that, not job, with people. And
I wonder if Ross
they gave like me Jack and that the first gigs. He probably did. I mean, we all had it, didn't we? He's such a great guy, and he never asks for anything. Do you know what I mean? He just does it for the sheer love of music. He's still going strong. I mean, gigging the Goyle as well. He puts that on every year, and it's crazy the amount of big acts that he's brought in over the years.
That's a great wee festival, that gig at the Goyle, actually.
Brilliant, man.
Aye,
brilliant.
Really,
You've been up to it?
We played a couple of years ago, maybe 3 years ago, and I forget the name of it. Where would you say it is again?
Look, Goylehead.
It's
like a holiday camp, Trimsney or something like that.
I remember the drive up to it, and it's all these winding roads, and I'm terrible at driving at the best of times, and I was designated driver that day, and they were in the car pissed, and they were swerving all over the road, and I was like, will you shut up?
It's a scary road.
I tried to turn the music up and jump, and I'm like, just calm down, I'm a bit nervous here, this isn't going very well. But no, it was a great gig, and it's a great opportunity to go up there and hear artists that you maybe haven't heard before, with some of the best local talent in Scotland as well, so I really enjoyed it.
It's brilliant. It's some scenery up there as well.
Well, it's beautiful.
We went up, you're talking about that road, we went up like a 50 odd seater bus, and that was scary. They'll never do it, like the company are like, no, we're not doing that again, like, so let's get minibuses for on.
Did you stay overnight? Have you stayed up there at all?
I stayed up a few times. We made a mistake one year staying up, and like I think we were playing on the Sunday, and we'd been up since the Friday and just on it. I had to drag a couple of the boys out of bed to play the gig. I don't think I'd slept either, so it was easy for me to get going again. But good memories for that place.
Ever the professional, Mark?
Of course, mate. Of course, as always.
So, what have you got planned for this year, if it does go ahead, and if not, have you thought anything that you could potentially do in the meantime?
We're just hoping that the gigs go ahead. Obviously, we tour and just try and get on as many festivals. I don't know how festivals are looking there after Glastonbury's just announced that that's not happening. But be good if it does to get them done. And definitely new music this year, guaranteed. Regardless of what happens, there'll be new music. There's tunes recorded, just need to get mastered. Definitely new music.
Whereabouts do you record?
45 Aside in Glasgow.
Aye. They've
Uncle Paul, he's really good.
Aye.
The guy's brilliant. He's sort of like changed their kind of writing process and our vibes, the tunes, and just we always like to mix up anyway. Like none of our tunes sound the same as the next or the one before, but it's certainly introduced us to kind of new sounds as well. So it's a great place to go. I've
heard that, and I've heard I had Retro Video Club on the podcast before. I believe they recorded a few tunes in there, and I think the band The Professor did as well. And the sound that's coming out of there is massive, really, really good.
He's done some big names. So actually to get back in, we're still working on a couple of songs as well. So as soon as we get back in, we'll be in there, bashing it there.
Brilliant. Well, if you've not done so, please check out Mark Sharp and the Bicycle Thieves. Absolutely brilliant. If you've not done as well, please like and subscribe to this podcast. And Mark, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on. Thanks so much.
No, mate, thank you so much for having me, man. Appreciate it.
Looking forward to a positive 2021 and looking forward to hearing your new tunes soon.